Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Nadon Sirivardhana. Let's have a look at the headlines. Ceylon Chamber tries to enhance trade ties with Indonesia. Sri Lanka Canada Business Council calls on the Prime Minister. News in detail. Sri Lanka Canada Business Council has announced an official mission to Canada till October 22nd, aiming to strengthen trade and investment relations between the two nations. Delegates held a pivotal briefing session with Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya in Colombo recently. During the strategic meeting, they outlined their objectives, which focus on promoting sustainable growth and identifying new trade opportunities. The Prime Minister emphasized the sectors such as agriculture, IT, education, tourism and financial services will be aggressively prompted to attract foreign direct investments. She also highlighted the importance of addressing climate change challenges as part of the mission. The SLC-BC delegation is set to engage with Canadian business leaders and government officials, pursuing avenues that promise long-term benefits for both Sri Lanka and Canada. Active credit cards in Sri Lanka have edged up by 0.5% or 11,293 in the first 8 months of this year, while the outstanding balance in credit cards saw a marginal drop in the same period. Analysts claim that this is reported at a time the central bank spiked the interest rates sharply in April 2022 to fight against hyperinflation. The number of active credit cards rose to 1,928,378 by the end of August this year, from 1,917,085 by the end of last year. Active credit cards in Sri Lanka have fell nearly 2% or 35,655 in the first 8 months of last year. Analysts said Sri Lanka's economic recovery and stability have helped customers to use more credit cards than last year. The number of active credit cards fell to 1,917,336 by the end of August 2023 from 1,952,991 by the end of 2022, the central bank data showed. Some analysts said higher interest or penalty rates on credit cards also would have prompted some users to cancel their cards in the last year, and the same customers might be actively using the cards now. The central bank spiked the interest rates sharply in April 2022 to fight against hyperinflation. However, the inflation has now slowed to a deflation last month after the central bank reduced its key policy rates 6 times since June 2023. The Sri Lanka-Indonesia Business Council of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce successfully concluded a business promotion mission to Indonesia earlier this month. As part of the visit, the Sri Lankan delegation participated in a series of business forums, expos and meetings with key stakeholders. A highlight of the visit was the delegation's participation in Indonesia South and Central Asia Business Forum 2024, organized by Indonesia's Foreign Affairs Ministry. In collaboration with the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Jakarta, the delegation also operated a booth at INASCA, which attracted considerable attention from Indonesia's business community. Additionally, the delegates attended the 39th Trade Expo Indonesia, showcasing the country's dynamic economy and emerging industries. Productive discussions were held with the Indonesia Employees Association and the Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, aiming to further strengthen trade and business ties between Sri Lanka and Indonesia. A business networking session hosted by the Association of Sri Lankans Living in Indonesia allowed the delegation to connect with the Sri Lankan entrepreneurs based in Indonesia, fostering networking and business collaboration opportunities. Stay tuned, we will return after this commercial break. Welcome back. Sri Lanka's ambassador to Sweden, Kapila Fonseca, successfully concluded a 2-day official visit to Gothenburg, Sweden. This was aimed at strengthening economic and trade relations between Sri Lanka and the region. The visit included high-level discussions with Swedish officials and business leaders to enhance bilateral cooperation. During his meetings with Governor Sten Tolgfors of Vasta Gotland, Gothenburg Lord Mayor Aslan Akbaz, and Regional Parliament Chair Rene Bengtsson, Ambassador Fonseca reiterated Sri Lanka's commitment to deepening ties with the region. The ambassador participated in two business roundtables organized by the Sri Lanka Honorary Consulate in Gothenburg and Sri Lanka Sweden Business Council. The roundtables brought together representatives from Business Region Gothenburg, the Chamber of Commerce in Gothenburg, and professionals from various sectors such as ICT, manufacturing and technology. These discussions identified potential areas for investment, joint ventures and expanding market access for Sri Lankan businesses in Swedish market. Ambassador Fonseca's visit also emphasized engaging with the Sri Lankan community in Gothenburg, discussing opportunities for deeper cooperation between the embassy and local Sri Lankans. Now, the Colombo Stock Exchange has introduced high-yield bonds offering companies with ratings below investment grade the opportunity to raise capital through bond issuance on the CSE. The Colombo Stock Exchange made this announcement in a press briefing released to the media recently. This move marks a shift from the standard corporate bond requirements, which previously demanded a rating at least one notch above investment grade, making it challenging for lower-rated companies to access capital markets. Only certain regulated entities such as banks, non-banking financial institutions, and insurance companies are eligible to issue these high-yield bonds. This ensures that companies overseen by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka or the Insurance Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka can benefit from this initiative. Although these bonds will be listed on the CSE, trading will take place on the over-the-counter platform, limited to qualified investors, those with more expertise in managing high-risk investments. These investors, like those engaged with Basel III compliant securities, can diversify their portfolios with these bonds, which offer high returns but come with increased risks. The Rotary Club of Colombo Metropolitan is set to host the 8th Dialogue Enterprise Rotary Par 3 Charity Golf Classic on October 26th on the Royal Colombo Golf Club. The event, with tee-off times at 7 am and 12 noon, aims to raise funds for RCCMS's community service initiatives supporting congenital heart surgeries for underprivileged children. A unique feature of the event is its transformation of the 18-hole RCGC course into a par 54 layout, where each hole is played as a par 3, offering a fun and competitive twist for participants. The tournament regularly attracts golfers from Sri Lanka's business and sports sectors, combining the sport with the spirit of charity. RCCM President Roshan Pires highlighted the impact of the event, noting that it goes beyond golf by enabling long-term community support. Naveen Pires, Group Chief Officer of Dialogue Enterprise, emphasized the tournament's importance in funding life-saving surgeries and supporting various charitable initiatives. Meanwhile, RCGC Captain Amrit Disoisa expressed excitement about hosting the event and announced a partnership with RCCM to distribute school supplies to the children of RCGC's caddies and minor staff as part of their annual CSR initiative. Stay tuned for the stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on mixed notes today.
The whole share price index gained by 11.47 points to close at 12,257.69, and the S&P SL 20 dropped by 7.4 points to close at 3,607.38. The turnover was 1.8 billion rupees and over 141 million shares were traded.
Up next are Forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.